Yeah, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're viewing from, and trust you are doing great. Yes, so if you're just coming up as this channel, this is where we talk about relationship with your friends, your family, your partner. That's what we discuss basically. And yes, I would not advise you view this alone. You can please share to your friends, and if you have any comments, any questions, please comment it in the comment section, and trust me, you're going to have your answers. Yes, so on today's edition we'll be discussing an ideal relationship, and I won't be the one doing that. We have a guest, and with me is Pastor Jeremiah Emmanuel. Good afternoon, sir.
Right, good afternoon. Thank you so much for having me around. It's such a delight to be here. Thank you.
And thank you for the privilege. Can you please tell us what an ideal relationship is?
Okay, an ideal relationship, all right, is the original kind of relationship. The relationship that is part of the intention of the creator, okay, how it was intended to be originally, how it was designed to be originally. All right, a scenario played out in the New Testament. The religious leaders interrogated Jesus. They asked about the matters of divorce, and they asked him that Moses instructed us to divorce our wives on certain grounds, and Jesus referred them back to the beginning. He said, in the beginning it was not so. It then means if we want to understand the ideal pattern of relationship, the ideal design for relationship, then we must refer back to the beginning. So what happened in the beginning? In the beginning we saw that the creator created the man first. He gave the man a work, an assignment, gave him a purpose, gave him a sense of direction, gave him something to live for. And here we saw that that man was engaged, was engrossed in this assignment. He was engrossed in the execution of his assignment. And it was at that point that God said, it's not good that this man is alone. You discovered that that man wasn't depending on anyone. That man was independent. He didn't need anybody to complement him. Here's a man that was blindly focused on what he was doing. And God said, this man needs an assistant, a support system, someone that would stand by him and what help him achieve this assignment. So God's an ideal relationship, is a relationship that is subject to God's standard. All right, is a relationship that is in alignment with God's standard at the beginning. Thank you.
Okay, so now, sir, please, I want to ask, have you ever been in a relationship before?
Yeah, before now, I've not been in a relationship, but recently I got into a relationship.
Okay, so what were you waiting for? What happened? And how were you able to... Okay, we're going to ask two in one because, in this generation, it's more like a normality that at a particular age, you should be in a relationship. So, I want to ask, why are you just starting?
All right, first I want to say that to be outstanding in any aspect of life, all right, understanding is necessary. Understanding makes for an outstanding result. All right, and I have understood that there are certain things that should be on ground, okay, before I venture into a relationship. All right, I'm not I'm not getting into a relationship to suit my own appetite, to meet up with my desire. Understand that a relationship is much more than having a partner with me. Okay, again, an ideal relationship is a relationship that fulfills God's demand.
So I want to ask, because in this generation, it's more like a normality that as long as you are with the opposite sex, something is definitely going on between the two of you. Yeah. They don't believe that it's possible to be friends with the opposite sex without maybe a romantic feelings attached. So I want to ask, how were you able to build a healthy relationship with the opposite sex?
All right, thank you. This is a very profound question. All right, a great man said something very remarkable. He said, if the purpose of a thing is not known, the abuse is inevitable. All right, and the word abuse there means abnormal use. Okay, So abuse is inevitable. The reason why we see a lot of abnormalities on the ground of relationship is because largely people are ignorant as to how to manage the kind of relationship that they have around them.
Yeah.
All right. So I said I have an understanding of what an ideal relationship is, and that understanding has helped in making me define every relationship in my life. All right.
Okay.
So there has to be a very stern definition to every relationship in your life. Not every relationship is the same. Okay, and this is the pathway to liberty when it has to relating with people. Everybody do not have equal space in your life. All right, some persons are coming to learn from you, some persons are coming to glean from you, some persons are coming to be mentored by you, are coming to receive a lot of things from you. Some persons are coming, some relationship in your life are what? They are your mentors, they are your teachers. They are coming to give value to you, okay, value in every shades and types. Okay, and it's also important to understand that not all relationship in your life is the same, so you begin to define them. This person that is coming into my space, into my life, who is this person? What is he coming as? What is his role in my life? Is he coming as a downline, as a friend, as a colleague? Is he coming as a mentor? So you know how to relate with that person. Do you understand? Okay, and there are killers of relationship. Okay, as you start becoming friends with people, the first thing that happens is that the first stage is the stage of acquaintances. When you get acquainted with this person, you get to know who they are, where they're coming from. Let me just digress a little to say that you don't just become intimate with people like that. You don't just get connected to people like that. Okay, the first stage is acquaintances. Okay, where you get acquainted with the people that are coming close to you, you get to know where they're coming from, you get to know their background, you get to know their education, the kind of education they've gotten, all right, and the kind of exposure they have. The next phase is the casual phase. All right, at this point, you now become what every form of formality is taken off. All right, the next phase is the close relationship, where you become close, you become close friends. At this stage, you begin to observe similar values, similar goals, similar interests, similar objectives. All right, and of course, the last phase is the intimate place. Okay, and the intimacy here doesn't really talk about the physical part of intimacy. All right, intimacy first talks about your synergy in the spirit. How aligned are you people? How connected are you in spirit? Do you share similar beliefs? Do you share similar ideologies? All right, and then in your soul as well. Do you understand? Okay, a lot of balances must come in. All right, so these are aspects that one must focus on. So back to how I'm able to strike a balance in my relationship. All right, is the fact that every relationship in my life is well defined. There's a stern definition to every relationship in my life, and this is how everyone should have. This is the pathway to peace in relationship. Everybody does not have the same space in your life. You must be able to decipher, all right, the role of everyone coming to your life. Is this person coming as a mentor? This person in my life, is he? Am I gleaning from him? Is he gleaning from me? Am I learning from him? Is he learning from me? This is why we have a lot of vacillations in emotions, is because definition is not in place. All right, definition is not in place. Some persons are just very, very disorganized when it comes to their relationship with people. Every relationship should be defined, and this is what will make you very stable, all right, with your emotions, all right. And secondly, that you set boundaries. You set boundaries. Do you understand? It's not all questions you answer. Do you understand? It's not everybody you give access into your space, your social media space, your physical space. You don't give everybody that kind of privileges. You don't answer their questions that are sensitive, their questions that are confidential. That people should not just get the liberty to ask. And once you give people this access, what happens is that you become vulnerable to them. Okay, and I need you to understand that every immoral heart, okay, started gradually. Okay, there are certain loopholes that eventually gave room to that act.
And it's more like there are some people that invest their emotion without knowing.
That's so true. That's so true. Okay. All right, it's true that there are people who invest. It's impossible. Now, there's a way we have been wired. We are sexual beings, we are relational beings. Okay, God designed us in a way that we are attracted to people and people are attracted to us. When a male gender stays closely and consistently with the female gender, certain chemical reactions begin to take place. Alright, it's impossible, irrespective of who you are, alright, to stay overly close to the opposite sex.
Without having emotions.
Alright, without being attracted to the person and the person being attracted to you. You understand? So, so the issue of unconscious emotions and all of that, yes, it can certain, but it's very good to understand that every closeness must be defined. Must be defined. Okay, if you're not ready to make commitment as a male, as a brother to a lady, all right, then put a boundary. There are certain things, there are certain levels the person shouldn't come to. There are certain things the person shouldn't know about you, and there are certain times the person shouldn't be with you. Shouldn't be seen in a private corner with the opposite sex alone. You understand? Alright, and you're saying you don't want to be emotionally drawn to the person. You would not to be emotionally drawn to the person. Alright, so please set boundaries, okay? Set boundaries.
Thank you so much. Alright, so I want to ask, have you ever had sexual urge?
I'm human, and every human, alright, even animals have sexual urges. So how much more higher animals? Do you understand? Yeah. We're designed and wired, configured in such a way that, alright, we are attracted to people, people are attracted to us, like I said. Do you understand? So this thing is woven into our making, into our being. Okay, but the emphasis here is that you don't allow the urge dominate you. Do you understand? You don't allow the feelings dominate you. You don't allow the desires dominate you. Okay, a lot of persons, because of inability to manage this urge, okay, have landed themselves in troubles. They've gotten themselves engaged in all forms of immoral acts. Okay, so you must understand that like anger, like happiness, like all other feelings, this urge is a feeling. I know it comes with strong tendencies, okay, but then it's something that can't be managed and controlled. And I want to quickly say this, okay, perhaps before you come up with other questions, that there are certain atmospheres, certain environments, certain things you do that stimulate this urge. Okay, the things you listen to can stimulate the urge. The things you watch, the things you see with your eyes can stimulate the urge. The environment you subject yourself to, the kind of company you keep can stimulate this urge. Do you understand? It's impossible to watch pornography, porn movies, and look at nude videos and not get what sexually aroused. Okay, it would certainly happen. It's impossible to have friends who all the time will talk about fornication, will talk about immorality, and not be aroused sexually. It's impossible to have people around you that are in this, that dresses in an indecent manner and not be aroused sexually. So the point here is that you are careful, you're conscious of your company, you're conscious of what you listen to, you're conscious of what you see, alright. But then if it comes naturally, okay, then you should be able to manage it. Permit me to suggest a few things. Do you understand? That you manage it first, okay, by staying conscious, okay, staying conscious of your spiritual state, being conscious of spiritual things, staying conscious of your spirituality. All right. The scripture teaches in Romans chapter 8 about a law. It calls it the law of sin and death. This law is what sponsors every form of immorality. Immorality is a force. It's a force that is sponsored by a law called the law of sin and death. All right. But then the solution to this law is the law of life that is in Christ Jesus. But this law is activated by a consciousness. So when I'm conscious of spiritual things, I listen to things that edify my spirit. I have friends that say things that edify my spirit. I subject myself to an environment that enlightens my spirit. What happens is that I cannot be overcome by this kind of feelings, by this kind of urges. Do you understand? Okay. Yeah. But then if I find myself in an environment that encourages sin, an environment that would stimulate this urge, okay, you have friends who would discuss all manner of filthy things. It has a way of arousing you sexually, and at that point it's difficult to manage.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. This, like, it's actually an awesome time with you. So that's to say to those guys, I would say, konji, that's to say that konji does not kill. So you can actually manage your emotions and be sexually pure regardless.
You can.
So thank you so much.
Let me say that it happens to everybody. Everybody feels this urge. Everybody has this urge at one time or the other. Even the greatest of men of God feels this urge. Okay, as much as in the flesh and blood, you're not the only one. You understand, that feels sexually arousing. You're not the only one that feels this urge for sex. You're not the only one. All right, so you must know this and know peace. Okay, but the fact that you have the feeling does not mean you respond to it. It's important.
That's just to say you are still human and you're functioning well.
You're human.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I sincerely your questions in the comment box and we're going to respond to it. So thank you and do have a lovely day.